Donald Trump has now won the presidential election of 2024. And because of this, he's nominating a variety of different people to fill various cabinet picks, nominating people from Tulsi Gabbard to Pete Hegseth to Marco Rubio to RFK Jr. Now, across the board, these picks are drawing various levels of public support, some being skeptical, some being cynics, some having raging support and dying affection for some of Trump's picks, buying their different merchandise and whatnot. Now, of these picks, people are wondering, well, who is going to do the best job? Who is going to lead America well and make the average American's life better? Well, RFK Jr. was nominated as U.S. Health Secretary, according to NPR, in 2024, which brings us to our question of which president-elect Trump's cabinet picks will be the best. And of these, I'm arguing that RFK Jr. will be the best pick. But how will he be the best pick? Well, first we need to define what is the definition of best. Well, best means to be the most desirable, the most effective, according to the Oxford Dictionary. So in order to be the best cabinet pick, one would have to be the most desirable and the most effective. Now, RFK Jr. as Health Secretary would be the best cabinet pick on 3 reasons. First, he is the most desirable across the board out of all of Trump's cabinet picks. Second is the prevalence of disease. And third is his plan to fight disease and to make America healthy again. This brings us into our first point, which is he's the most desirable. RFK Jr. is the most desirable of all of Trump's picks. And he does this in 2 ways. First reason is he is the most popular pick. And then secondly, people want America to be healthy again. So going into that first reason of people want of him being the most popular cabinet pick, according to Forbes in December 2024, out of all of Trump's cabinet picks across the board, he has the highest public support. Across the board, out of all of Trump's cabinet picks, he has the highest approval rating compared to Pete Hegseth, Marco Rubio, just all of his cabinet picks. No one comes close to RFK Jr. So this already shows that he is the most desirable, which is part of the definition of best. So he already is the best cabinet pick, but we can expand this further. Another way he is the most desirable is that people want America to be healthy again. 68% of Americans desire a healthy food supply, according to researchamerica.org in June 2024, something that, according to RFK Jr., is one of his biggest plans to fix, is making American health food supply healthy again, according to his website in May of 2024. And additionally, his whole campaign when RFK Jr. ran for president was to make America healthy again, and this is something that Americans want. So between being the most popular cabinet pick and on top of that, his pledge to make America healthy again and people wanting that, he is the most desirable. This brings us to our second point, which is the prevalence of disease in America. There's 2 things we're going to touch on. The first being the prevalence of obesity and then the prevalence of chronic disease, in order for you to understand how disease is really impacting Americans currently. Going to that first point, 38.6% of Americans are obese, according to the CDC in November 2024. This is a massive number, and considering the population of America is in over 300 million, this means that at least 100 million Americans are struggling with this and facing this serious health risk, according to the CDC. Now, the second point of the prevalence of disease is that 6 in 10 Americans have at least one chronic disease. 6 in 10. And additionally, 4 in 10 have at least 2 or more chronic diseases. This is a massive issue. This was reported by the CDC again in November 2024. So between obesity that is facing Americans and this chronic disease, this is a massive issue facing millions and millions of Americans. But what exactly does this have to do with RFK Jr., you may ask? Well, this ties into our third point, which is his plan to fight disease and make America healthy again. He wants to do this in 2 ways: food and also to set an example. Going to our point about food, Trump said, according to The Hill in November 2024, that he told RFK Jr. to go wild on food. Not touch the oil, but the food, to go wild on the food. And he's going to go wild on the food in a couple ways. One of his goals, according to The Hill in November 2024, is to get ultra-processed food out of school food. Children do not need to be eating ultra-processed food, which, according to The Hill, again in that article, there's been much evidence showing that this ultra-processed food is creating many obese children, giving them chronic diseases, and just affecting the lifestyle of millions of Americans. Now, the second way he's also going to attack the food problem in America is by getting rid of food dyes. American food system. According to that article of The Hill in November 2024, food dyes can cause breast cancer and ADHD in Americans. This is something that RFK Jr. pledged to get rid of. Then also he wants to eliminate food stamps being used to buy sugary drinks. This is a massive problem and something that if someone is impoverished, they should not be using the little money they have to buy things that are unhealthy to them and that are damaging their health. And then the second way that he's going to plan to fight disease is by setting an example. RFK Jr., if you look at even his social media, he gets millions of views by being shirtless, walking around in nature with a six-pack at 70 years old. This is a man that sets an example and will motivate people to become more healthy and have an impact. So by seeing that he is the most desirable pick, by being the most popular cabinet pick, and people wanting and backing his agenda, we can see that he is very desirable. And then because of the prevalence of disease in America, with 38.6% of Americans being obese, 6 in 10 having one chronic disease, this is a big issue. And then on top of that, his plan to fight disease and to make America healthy again through both attacking the problems with ultra-processed food and attacking these regulations. This is one of the ways he'll plan to fight disease, but then also by setting an example. So by addressing these three things being most desirable, the prevalence of disease, and his plan to fight this disease, we can see an answer now. Which of President-elect Trump's cabinet picks will be the best? This will be RFK Jr.